assassins are allowed in here.
Only cold-blooded assassins on that wall.
Yeah, and you know who's
man.
not?
All right, you know what it is. Talk Your Shit, the sports podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Keep Watching Rich. Got my guys here, Chris and Brennan. All right, back on reaction. Not Reaction Monday, but Reaction Tuesday to a wild divisional round playoffs. All right, let's not take too much time. Let's just jump in it, man. Yo, man, what did you think about that Kansas City-Jacksonville game?
Who go first?
Go ahead, bro.
Jump
up in there, baby. Go ahead.
Listen, man, that Kansas City Jacksonville initial reaction is I am warming up on Trevor Lawrence. I wasn't sold on him at first. I mean, what he did in Clemson was good, but like he just had that prototypical NFL body that I felt like it's only gonna be either two ways. Either he's gonna be really good or he's gonna like just stink up the joint. And obviously, that first year it was just a shit show. But like we talked about with yesterday, last episode. Coaching is everything. And listen, Doug Peterson is the quarterback whisperer. He got Trevor Lawrence out here looking like he's about to be a Hall of Famer. So, like, I was really impressed of his poise, even though they got down early. And other thing, what can you say about Patrick Mahomes? He was hopping around that second half pretty much on one leg. And it's just even on one leg, he still can get the job done. So like it just really impressed by both quarterbacks. One, how young one was, but how poised he looked, but also like how hurt Mahomes was, but like still how he was able to, lead his team to victory.
Yeah, it was a great game, man. It went exactly how you kind of expected it to go. Like they were on upset alert, like we discussed. We were like, that was the one team that might do it. But you get out on the field and you just saw, and I think Rich, you alluded to Charles Jones disrupting things, and exactly what he did, right?
Chris Jones.
Chris Jones. Chris. No, but it was a good game. And Trevor Lawrence Ascension, like he's really one of those guys, like he's going to be in there in the talks now with the top 5 guys. And Mahomes is still holding on to the number 1 spot. He showed the toughness that he has and just character. So now we move on to next week, right? Kansas City did what they were supposed to do. They beat the underdog. Good game all around. I like where Jacksonville is going, though. I think they're going to definitely be a problem next few years or so, provided the organization stands pat, do what they do, and build the right team. Because, I like Kirk. He's not elite, though.
Yeah.
But that's what you got to love about Lawrence. Like he makes that guy better. But he's certainly not elite. Too many drop balls when it really counts. So they need a guy. Let's see where D-Hop goes next year.
Yeah, D-Hop's gonna be key. Yeah,
man. I think he's going to Cleveland. I think he's going to Cleveland, though, personally.
Yeah, I think wherever he's gonna go, he's definitely gonna change the landscape. But just to piggyback off you guys, I guess Jacksonville definitely showed their age. They definitely could have won that game. The key turning point, like I said, I had Trevor Lawrence. I'm a gambler. I had Trevor Lawrence for his rushing yards, and it was a key play. Right before what's his name? Their receiver fumbled the ball, but Trevor Lawrence ran out the pocket, got like 12 yards, chucked the guy. I'm like, all right, cool. They about to tie the game up. Then the very next play, throws it to the kick returner. I forgot his name, and he fumbles. And it's just like key plays like that is what's holding Jacksonville back. And you could just see that they're not ready for the moment because they should have had that game, especially that 98-yard drive by Chad Henne, bro.
No tape. That's what happens, man. He came in and,
no
tape.
Definitely Kansas City showed their poise. They showed they're the big, well, I don't think they're the big dogs, but, they are that team. And, what I told you, man, I told you Jacksonville was a backdoor cover. I love Jacksonville for the backdoor covers. But, it kind of like this whole weekend, I'm not surprised by any of the games, and not by that game. Kansas City did what they got to do. On to the next week.
Turnovers, man.
Ain't no much we can say more about that game. Let's go on to your boys, the Eagles.
Listen,
the Eagles and the Giants.
I mean, I'm not one to talk trash. I live in the tri-state area. Thing is, as an Eagle fan that lives outside Philly, I don't get too excited. Like, we beat a team that was inferior to us. Yeah. They are not good at any position. They're not better than us at anything. And I knew that it was going to be a big game. I didn't think it was going to be that big of a blowout. I knew we were going to dominate. I just thought it would be close, the rivalry. And that's the thing that got in my head in New York. I'm listening to that, and I'm like, these guys suck. Like, they're not good. Like, they just played Minnesota. So, and that's the thing. Like, that's the love that's one thing I love about the Giant fans, though. The delusion that comes with beating a subpar team will make you think you can be in the league. But as a competitor, this is what you want. Jalen, everybody says, hey, can he really be a quarterback? You want to play the best defense in the league. So that's what we're going to get this weekend. And, listen, we look great. There's really nothing you can really say. I mean, we just came and handled business. We beat the inferior team. We got to rest our guy a little bit in the fourth. That's all I wanted.
The one thing I learned from this weekend, the top 4 teams are the final 4 teams.
I agree. I agree with that 100%. These are the best teams left in the NFL. And it's not even a question about it.
Not even a question.
Yeah. We came back, we came in, we just rolled over. Like our offensive line and our defensive line, like we just rushed forward. And we're getting again, Daniel Jones, this week's going to be a real test. Yeah. Like whoever goes deserves it. Because this is going to be like a hard-hitting, old school, might be 13-10, but people are going to be moving up and down the field. You're going to feel like it's a big score. It's going to be one of those, man. Might be 17-14. I don't know. But it's going to be crazy. We'll talk about that again, though. I mean, all I'll say is we're better than Dallas.
Yeah, man. Like, yeah, man. I ain't gonna hold you. I felt to the tabloids and everything, thinking that Giants was gonna make it a game. I got caught up in the hype too. They definitely blew one of my tickets. I'm honestly I'm truly impressed with the Eagles. I'm impressed with Jalen Hurts. Maybe it's because it was the Giants. But he definitely Jalen Hurts. He does look the part.
Listen, the guy's a leader. Like he improved his accuracy. He improved everything that he was supposed to improve on. 100%. But now we get the real test this week. Like,
this is a big test.
You got to make those throws, and I think that's what it's going to come down to. I mean, we're going to have another talk about that, but it's going to come down to somebody's got to make a play, and I trust my guy over the other guy.
What you think, Brandon? How you feel about the game?
Listen, man, just to piggyback off you two, man, Jalen Hurts. It was that was one of those Jalen Hurts when he's healthy, he's one of those guys you feel like, okay, that's our guy. When he's standing upright, we have a chance. It was I don't know, just watching the Eagles the last 3 weeks, even that last game to end the regular season against the Giants when Jalen finally did come back, but comparing those 3 to yesterday, and this weekend, and I know it was the Giants, it was night and day. It was clear you guys were the better team. It was clear that Jalen Hurts, for all intents and purposes, but while people were raving that he was the MVP, when he's on, it's can anybody stop this team? You guys look like world beaters. I think you had 260 yards, 268 rushing yards,
268.
Oh my goodness!
But we got to remember, it is the Giants.
It's funny.
The Giants.
See, I always push back on that because it's just if they didn't win, it would be you couldn't beat the Giants. I always say you face whoever you got to face,
fair.
And
you
to
be who you're supposed to be.
To come out after a bye in any fashion to impose your will, especially on a divisional opponent, and we talked about, it's hard beating those guys 3 times in a row. I mean, that was just wow. And we gonna get into this when we talk about the Dallas game, but Dan Orlovsky had said something interesting this morning. He had said when he was comparing Dak and Tony Romo, and he said Tony Romo and Dak both make mistakes, but the thing about Romo is Romo has that big playability that he can get out of that mistake. And then when Dak makes mistakes, it just compounds and compounds and compounds.
That's
what Jalen has is he has that big capability both with his arm and with his legs. So like even if like we're big stagnant, we got it. Let me get out the pocket. Let me rush for 12 yards. Or let me find AJ Brown. Let me find Devontae Smith. Like he can make plays that like Dak needs to learn how to do if the Cowboys are ever going to be over the hurdle. So like I was just really impressed by Jalen, man. Really impressed.
Segment on.
Hey, the guy squats over 600 pounds, man.
Oh man, the quad father.
All right. Now, damn, you know what's crazy from that? Yo, Kennedy Gainwell.
Woo!
Bro, I'm telling you, our old line, man. We have 3 guys can get to the end zone and break a play, man, at any time. You know what I'm saying? Like we have a lot of weapons on our side of the ball, and we stack up against anybody. You know, it's going to be, I'm very excited for the San Francisco game just because as a competitor, like, I want to beat the best team.
Yeah.
You just want to.
That's the thing. These 4 teams that's left, even though I'm a Bengal fan.
Right.
Any combination you put.
Yeah.
It's going to be an amazing Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. Any combination.
Yeah, like on paper right now, like there's no question that these guys could really put on a show. Like it could be. This is what you wait for all season.
Yeah.
You know, and we haven't had a physical matchup like Sanford. We haven't had 2 defenses like this in a while playing for a chance to go to the Super Bowl.
Absolutely.
You know, like these are the 1 and 2. There's number 1 and number 1 and number 2 defense, and there's playmakers on every side of the ball. Like their linebackers are better than ours, but our D line is better than theirs. So that's where it gets interesting, man.
The Super Bowl is going to come down to quarterback versus defense. It's crazy. It's going to come down to quarterback versus defense.
Yeah,
Even
man.
though I do think my defense is legit. We'll get into that. I do think my defense is just as legit as Eagles and San Fran.
That's crazy, but okay.
But we can have that discussion for another day.
That's a whole episode.
Consensus right now.
Actually, it's not really a whole episode when you really think about the insanity of that comment right there.
Oh my God. The consensus top 2 quarterbacks versus the consensus top 2 defenses.
Yes.
That's about the class. It's crazy. NFL, the script writers.
Yeah.
Listen.
But man, I'm gonna let y'all start that off. But let's take it to Cincinnati versus the Bills. Reactions.
It went the way I thought it was gonna go.
Really?
Yeah. I just didn't like the Bills after the Miami game. I think we might have to rewind the tape. I think I predicted the Bengals would win.
No, we was on it. Yeah.
Okay. I just felt like
you can say that. Yeah.
Well, yeah. No, I just felt like that they were the better team going into it, and I didn't think that they rely on Josh Allen too much. And when you don't have a running game in the playoffs a little bit, like you got to have a smidge. You got to do something. And they were just, and also like, listen, the Bengals came in with a chip on their shoulder. You got to respect that. They came in and they did, like they walked right down the field. And I think that broke them early. And also, Zach Taylor showed that he's a good coach.
Finally.
I don't think McDermott did anything different in the second half. Like they didn't do anything to get the offense going. They didn't try to run the ball. Now, great. They were playing great. And also, we may have even talked about it on the last episode. I figured that the Bengals were going to have a great running attack against them because no Von Miller, man, that changed the entire complexity of getting that pass rush. Now, you guys are down 3 linemen. So that's an attribute to Zach Taylor, obviously Burrow, and no pass rush on the other side.
Well, yeah.
It's all you're like. It's almost like you had to win that game. So yeah, man. It kind of, and Burrow to me is taking another step in the level of QB. To me, he's number 2. Like I think Allen was a little overhyped to begin with, but you couldn't deny his numbers. But I think just from a pure QB standpoint, like Burrow. Now, granted, Burrow's 35 already, but Burrow is still
Flags, buddy. Allen is better than Burrow. Golly, bro.
But no, I think Burrow is that guy that's it's gonna be him and Mahomes for the foreseeable future. And I think Trevor Lawrence is gonna ascend past Herbert and
Allen,
yeah. I just think Allen's in a bad situation now with what's coming up from the organizational standpoint.
Yeah.
Like they had to get it right these last couple of years. And that game last year, that was it. That was their shot.
That was their.
Now,
it was their peak to me.
Yeah, like that was it. That was the
bro.
peak. Yep, I agree. So yeah, listen, the Bengals are hot. They seem like they're doing the right things, and you should see what happens.
You know what the difference is this year, last year, right? And when I say last year was the Bills' peak, because last year the Bengals didn't know they were this good. You get me? Like none of us knew they were this good. Like the whole playoff run, you remember it was like, oh, you guys are still winning. Okay, we're still here. Oh, you actually you're in the AFC Championship. Oh, you're in the Super Bowl. This year, like they have that chip. And to piggyback to take it back to where you were saying, you knew I was confident because the linemen that came in, they all played last year. They just played out of position. The tackle was the guard. The two tackles were playing guard last year when they wasn't even supposed to be playing guard in the Super Bowl. So you're playing them out of position. Now they're actually playing their position. So that's why I have my confidence. Man, listen, man, you know how I feel about Joe Burrow. You know we don't need to keep going down this road. I mean, right now, like, I'm gonna give Mahomes this, but I think Burrow's like literally right here. And the only thing holding him back is accolades. It's the only thing holding him back. It's crazy because I hear all the talk shows. If Mahomes didn't beat Burrow 3 times, Burrow would be like here and Mahomes would be here. But even though Burrow don't beat Mahomes 3 times, he's still like right here. And even if he beats him again, it's still going to be like right here.
But, I mean, that's fair. But here's what I'll say. I do think that Burrow is right there talent-wise. Mm-hmm. But we took away, outside of Kelce, his weapons. You got Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins, Joe Mixon.
You know,
like we took away Mahomes' weapons.
All right. This is my real rebuttal to this.
Like he got Kyrie.
I just had this argument. Because even my boy, he still thinks Justin Herbert is better than Burrow. And I'm like, all right, look, bro. I think honestly, look, I know Jamar Chase is great. I know T. Higgins is great. I know Joe Mixon is great. You know why I truly think they're really this good right now? It's the one thing I always say. When you have a quarterback, you believe, you play harder, you play different. They take the like they said, they take the swag, they take the confidence of they take the mantra of Joe Burrow. I think Joe Burrow elevates those players to another level. To me, I think Jamar Chase is great, but I think Jamar Chase would be just like Justin Jefferson if he wasn't with Burrow.
I mean, I agree with that, but every single weapon you named is better than all Patrick Mahomes' weapons. They took away his number one receiver that is playing so great. You think that Tua is good. That's how delusional that is. You took away his best weapon, and he still had a better season than he did last year. So, like,
there's no doubt. I'm saying this. I'm not saying if you take.
Like, I don't
want to take Jamar Chase and T. Higgins away. But I think
Burrow did it without
find a way to get it done.
Well, that's all I'm saying. Until we see it, I don't know that.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
I don't want to see it. I want T. Higgins.
No one wants to see it. You think I want to see AJ Brown and Devontae Smith go somewhere?
No, I don't want to see it at all.
Of course not.
Definitely another takeaway from the game, man. If we had this running game going like this, if they can keep this up, if Joe Mixon could just keep this up, the next 2 games, I think it's over. I honestly do. I honestly do, because that's the one thing. Like that running game has been non-existent the last couple of weeks. Granted, I think because we was playing the Ravens and shit, but like if we can keep this going, man, I like the momentum. And like I said, my defense, bro, we don't have the names, but bro, we are top 5 on defense. I think our defense.
There's only 4 teams left.
I really think our defense is what's going What'd you say?
There's only 4 teams left.
Oh my God! I've been saying we top 5 all along anyway, bro. Legit, we're the 3rd best defense right now. I don't care. All right, whatever.
Oh man.
What do you think, Brennan? What do you think, man? What do you think about the Mahomes Burrow debate?
You was the man that chose the Bills.
Listen, oh man, I'm so.
There's so much that to unpack right there. Like you got to talk about the game. We need to know Burrow and Mahomes. Like, do you think the weapons play that big of an impact for him?
You see, this what also makes it like the weapon, especially for these two, very interesting is that Burrow and Chase played in college, so they coming into the league chemistry
they already got
established. Right. So more so than any other like quarterback to his top receiver, they have that already. Yeah. But I agree with you. Like, literally, we took away Tyreek Hill and Mahomes matched his MVP season, maybe having another MVP season. So it's just like, again, until we see Burrow with, I think for some people, until we see Burrow, maybe like if hypothetically speaking, like Burrow gets, the alleged $300 million guaranteed this offseason, and let's say that's too much money.
He's a free agent, he's gonna get it.
And let's say Jamar Chase, for whatever reason, like
Jamar's not going nowhere. It'd be Higgins.
But let's say hypothetically, if he was to still do that, I think then you would have people say Burrow. People will probably either like put them ahead of each other or put Burrow ahead. But for me, listen, this is a legacy game of Sunday. Like,
wow, okay.
Like, because it's like I still, me personally, I still think that Mahomes is better than Burrow. But I feel like that will go from right now. I think you can argue like whether it be accolades or statistics that's a fact. But I think it's something to be said about beating somebody when it matters. And I think if 100% goes in there and wins, that statistical fact will become an opinion. It'd be like, nah, it's Burrow, because it's like. And me and Rich were talking about during the game, like Burrow doesn't make no mistakes. It's weird. Like it's just like it's like Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, SE. Like he analyzes the field, he holds the ball. Oh, Hayden Hurst right there, boom. Oh, Joe Mixon, boom. It's just like, man.
He was dissecting the Bills, bro.
It was that first drive when he's like, oh man, and it was just like
first drive was crazy.
I was like,
damn. But.
That's my. I was like, that's my quarterback. Yo, that's my QB.
I think the Bills championship window just closed. Like I mentioned earlier, they barely beat Skylar Thompson.
Yep.
I think by the end of next year, we're gonna say Trevor Lawrence is better than both Herbert and Allen.
I agree with that.
I still believe in Russell Wilson. He had a bad year. What if
you're bugging?
Imagine if
you was doing so good.
Yo, hold on. But I'm just saying, imagine if the Broncos retool and get Russell just doesn't go out of himself and just gets back to his winning ways.
I think Russell's thing is more of like a team thing. I don't know that the team really vibes with him.
Because I just think like if Allen gets into now a position where he has to go into maybe shootouts, or he has to go up against these dudes and be mistake free, I think he's like we saw Sunday. I think he's going to get exposed, and I think the main reason he's getting exposed is because the lack of Brian Daboll. When Daboll was there,
certainly a part of it.
They play with this flair, this swagger, like we could be anywhere, which is why they had that game won until Mahomes and Tyreek Hill 13 seconds left. It's like they felt like they can do it this year, even though they got Von Miller, which was on the defensive end. The offense, there was this lack there all year where it was just like
they got no running game, man, and they couldn't. There's like, nothing they could do to get creative.
Y'all don't look the same, so it's just
Stephon Diggs. Anything you see out of that? Do you see a potential trade this offseason, or are you giving one more year?
I don't have it in front of me, but what's his contract? That's the truth. You can yell at your quarterback all you want, but he might have like 3 years left. If he's got 2 more years left.
Do you see like how did you feel? You see diva, or you just see somebody with passion?
See, I
You
don't
see
like
like
that
a
kind of.
beginning of a friction coming.
Nah, me personally, I don't like that kind of stuff. Like, I didn't like it when Dak was doing it on the sidelines to Brent Maher when he was missing the field goals. I just like when you do stuff like that. Like, obviously, it's a mistake, but like, get it back the next drive. Just get it back. Like, I know you're frustrated. You're the top receiver. You're not getting the ball, but like, you can't do that because it's just like if you as a leader do that, what's stopping the third string guy from coming off the bench and be like, "Hey, yo, Josh, you missed me." Like, you gotta like maintain that level of respect, with your teammates. So like, to me, it's corny. Like when I no matter who does it, no matter if a running back does it to a receiver, a quarterback does it, anybody, like it's just corny. Like just it's football. You get it back on the next drive. Like so.
I mean, it's frustration. Like you got to look at so. Let's not forget that Stephon Diggs is clearly an emotional guy, right? Like he stood on the field while the confetti was up a couple of years ago, right? So he's thinking in his mind, you know, at that moment, what he's thinking? This window just closed. So he just fucking freaked out. He was like, yo, like in his mind, emotionally, he knows. Like players know. Imagine
if Brady
like he
Raiders,
he felt
man.
it. I mean,
Brady go where?
The Raiders. Like I really think like
Brady's washed, bro.
No, but like I think the point I'm trying to get is like I feel like there's a scenario where next year the AFC gets even better, and now you're asking.
Yeah, for sure.
Listen, don't get it wrong. The Bills are still going to be the best team in your division, bro. The Bills are still going to be the best team in your division next year, bro.
No.
Listen.
No.
Let's stop. Josh Allen. Hold on. Josh Allen, right? Even though
how many games did Tua lose when he's not better than
Joe Burrow, he's still Josh Allen. They can still win 11 games just getting up and beating teams, bro.
All right,
what was like Tua? Didn't Tua have like a crazy record where like
Tua's not going to make it through the whole season, bro? We know that's a fact, bro.
He only lost like
all right, but what if Lamar goes to
Miami?
Yo, the Jets are legitimately a quarterback away from really being in the. And let's be honest, like the Jets are really a quarterback away. Their defense. So let's say David Carr. You like David Carr? What do you your thoughts of him coming to the Jets? He's better than Zach, whatever his name is.
Personally, I think for the Jets, a realistic option is Jimmy G.
Do you think Jimmy G can elevate that team though? Like, I don't think he's dynamic enough to go with your young guys, man. I don't know.
I think you guys need a dynamic quarterback. I don't think you need. See, the Derek Carrs,
I think Derek Carr is a better fit than, in my opinion. I just think Derek Carr, he's healthy. He stays healthy. He's a good locker room guy. He's got better numbers than people look at. And he's been playing under chaos for 10 years, and he's still putting up great numbers.
See, my thing is
complete chaos.
Derek Carr this year had statistically the best wide receiver in Devontae Adams and the best running back in Josh Jacobs, and couldn't make the playoffs. That scares me.
To me, I don't put as much of that stock onto Carr as I do like the organization. Like, when are we going to say Josh McDaniels is not a great coach?
Oh, he's terrible.
Like, and it's also like, look at their defense.
Yeah.
They were up in a lot of games. Like, I can't even put that on Carr. Like, they were up in a lot of. Imagine if you give Carr the Jets defense and you're up 21-10, it's probably not a lot of games that they're going to lose. These dudes were up like 21-6, 21-7, like putting up monstrous points, and then defense. And I don't think Josh McDaniels is a good coach. I think he's an offensive coordinator. I don't think guys vibe with him. I don't think people like him. I think has an air to him that he thinks he's like the greatest that ever did it. And he's only done it under Belichick. He's never done anything on his own. Every time he's done it on his own, he's been terrible.
Yeah, man.
So,
well, I'll say
I think the Jets with a quarterback are the favorite in the NFC East. Do we think Mac Jones is great? I don't know.
Mac Jones, who?
Until we see where these quarterbacks end up, the Bills are still going to win that division.
Okay.
As of right now,
we can agree to disagree on that, but my thesis still stands. I don't think there could be a situation next year they lose in the wild card round just because that conference is going to get better.
But dude, like the quarterbacks are key. Miami is a good team with like McDermott. We all know that the NFL is going NBA in offense.
Yeah.
defensive guys.
That was
like I don't know.
too.
Salah is going to be a problem in a couple of years if you guys don't get a great offensive coordinator. He's a defensive guy. You know, McDermott, a defensive guy. These guys have trouble making adjustments in the second half. Look at McDaniel. He came in, and you think that Tua is an MVP candidate. Part of that is the offense. You see how open these guys are with his schemes? Now, next year there's going to be tape, and that's going to be a difference. So we'll see. But like you said, it depends on what quarterback goes where. I think they're off to it personally.
Let's get to that last game. Let's get to the Cowboys. Cowboys, man. Cowboys. Go ahead,
Listen,
man.
Dak. That's all I can say. The Black Kirk Cousins strikes again.
Oh man.
And he should have had 3 picks. And one of them should have been a pick 6 in the most crucial moment. Listen, man.
Terrible.
And it's sad because their defense came to play. Like gave us some good tape for Purdy. Thanks a lot, Dallas. I appreciate that as an Eagle fan.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, what do we think? Like, what's that? What do the Cowboys do to get better? They can't do anything. We've seen this story a million times.
It's a Cowboys.
I mean, listen, Tony Pollard going out was definitely a big adjustment.
Broken leg, so that means he's done for next season too, bro.
Right. Like, that was a huge. I mean, that was a huge. You can't. It's tough to overcome that in a playoff game, but still, like, that's not the reason they lost. You know, the reason they lost is Dak Prescott threw 2 turnovers, and there's nothing special that Dak does when trouble comes. Like, I've never seen him do one thing where I'm like, wow, what a great throw. He really got out of that. And you know, what did he do Sunday that stands out? Name a play that stands out other than the turnovers.
You want to know?
And the
play that stands out?
The one where he throws the CD. He tries to throw the CD. He tried to fit a ball like Burrow. Tried to throw it to CD over Fred Warner. And he got T.Y. Hilton right here, wide the open on the seam route. Like,
well, dude, this is the thing, man. Like, these guys get under pressure, and this is where, like, that's the thing, man. I mean, he is who he is. Like, he's Black Kirk Cousins. Like, he's going to get you a great regular season, but he's never going to wow you, and he's going to make a terrible mistake when it counts the most. You know, and now, like, the Cowboys got to think about, like, when Jerry Jones doesn't want to give you money, there's a reason for that.
Oh man, Jerry Jones looking like he was right now.
Like, there's a reason that they didn't want to pay him. Like, they know he's an average guy. Like, listen, I like Dak as a person, and I hate the Cowboys, but handles the media right. Never says the wrong thing. Never in trouble. Gives you good statistics, right? Great team guy. Can't win when it counts. No one cares.
See,
you know?
It's tough, man. It's like you just like everything you just listed is right. Like, you just like, so what you like, why can't you just get this right? It's like watching that game Sunday, I couldn't tell the difference between Brock and Dak. Like, both of them looked like they were first year rookies. Like, that it was like some of those plays he was making decisions. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, honestly, like you said, like, what do they need to get better? Like, Dak needs to have like a come to Jesus moment, and he needs to grow up. He needs to
become the backup.
he needs to stop making these errant passes. He needs to stop trying to like make something out of nothing, because that's not his game. Like I was talking about it earlier. Like, guys like Romo or guys like Mahomes, Burrow, heck, even Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, that was a good point.
They have the talent to make up when their team needs it. Dak doesn't have that. So he needs to limit his mistakes, and then Kellen Moore might even have to like even simplify the offense even more, just to be like, Dak, don't deviate from this. Just do this. Like,
I think they missed Amari Cooper too, man.
I was about to say that was.
I think they missed Amari Cooper big time. Like, Amari Cooper is one of the better receivers in the league. And who's the second guy? Gallup. With Gallup, when's the last time Gallup even caught a pass?
I don't think Gallup caught a pass on something.
At least Dak did not throw to Noah Brown. At least a pick wasn't off Noah Brown this week.
Right. Well, that's the thing. Like, who's their second guy? And even like CeeDee Lamb, I mean, what's he gonna come in and do? Like, I don't know. I don't think it's the receiver issue that's gonna lose them games. Bro? Like, we've seen this story so many times, man.
Yeah,
Losing Pollard was big. That I'm not gonna.
That definitely changed the complexity of the game. But all right, this is the difference in a good quarter, in an average quarterback and a good quarterback. Everybody else that's left in the playoffs would have overcame that, except for maybe Purdy, right? Like we don't think Purdy would. I believe that Jalen would have overcame that. Burrow overcame down 3 linemen, right? And Mahomes is Mahomes with Andy Reid. Like
one leg.
Right. You know, like that's the thing. Like
he was healthy, he had a line, and he still messed up.
You know, like that's the thing, man. I feel like Dak is a pure game plan guy. And since the second that the game plan goes awry, it's over. Some guys just mentally can't lock in. And, you know, look at Kirk Cousins, 4th and 3. I mean, 4th and 5. The guy throws 3-yard pass. What are you doing? He's kind of like, you know?
Yes,
but yeah,
yes,
man.
Yes.
I mean, this is what it is. We got 4 great games coming up.
You ready? You ready for this weekend's games, fellas? You ready?
Yeah, man.
I'm not gonna ask for no predictions. All right. Well, this was a good reaction Tuesday. Looking forward. Let's go Bengals. All right. But y'all.
Yo, Brennan, you have no rooting interest at all, man. Who do you like?
Yeah, man. You got to be the one, because
yeah, like so you're out. So
I mean,
you guys may never be in again, but who knows?
You know what? Like, I think to Rich's point, I think we're gonna get a top defense versus a top quarterback, and I think that's gonna like really like do it. Personally, I think it'd be really good for, like, you know, just the evolution of the league if we got Mahomes versus Jalen, just because, you know, like when you look at the history of the black quarterback to see like, you know, a pocket passer and a dual threat.
Joe Burrow black, bro.
Tyrone Burrow.
Tyrone Burrow.
I think that'd be good. But no, I think like you said, I think any combination we get is going to be a great Super Bowl. I think like, but I do think the one thing that I'm most excited about the Chiefs versus Bengals is that I feel like after Lamar won the MVP, the league wanted to make it Mahomes versus Lamar, but Lamar couldn't like get to the postseason or stay healthy. Then they wanted to make it Allen, but you know, Mahomes kept demolishing Allen. So now we have like the true like this generation's Tom Brady and Peyton, and like
100%.
And like, you know, like I was telling Rich, like Joe just like backs it up. Like he said a couple of weeks ago, like as long as I'm healthy, we have a championship window. And it's just like he backs it up. It's not trash talk if you could back it up. And it's just like,
yeah, man,
exciting. So I think that's
they're the hottest team in the play. Well, them and the Niners are the 2 hottest teams going into the playoffs. So
and then I saw this crazy stat because I didn't see them in college, but when Jalen and Brock Purdy played in college, they put up like 10 total touchdowns. So like. It should be good, man. It should be good.
It's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, man. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to it as an Eagle fan. You know, we just want to play the best and beat the best, so we can stay with the best.
All right. Well, that was a good show, fellas. Wrapping it up. All right, I catch you fellas tomorrow. It's reaction Tuesdays. Talk some shit. All right, fellas.
Later.